last chance to stop before Offramp. What does that mean?
Take this exit.
Turn around. Slow down.
Welcome to Offramp.
He's picking up the guitar. It's very exciting.
I'm hoping he's going to bow the mic stand again tonight. That was something to behold. He wears the same pants every time, apparently.
Yeah, they're his lucky pants. Not everyone has lucky pants.
I used to think I did, but I was wrong.
Good segue, huh?
Yeah, great. And
That was really nice.
Love that.
I've written a whole little, I don't know what musically what you would call it, but a whole section of segues for bivalves.
By which you mean...
Or this one's about muscles. Now, I mentioned limpets, and I know that limpets are not really bivalves, but...
No, they have 3. You know, though, I see where you're going. That really says crustacean to me, though, you know?
Well, it's really the same as the crustacean
Am I
suite
wrong?
that I wrote. No, you're not wrong. You're just hearing in the wrong key.
Oh, okay.
So the crustacean stuff is actually...
Oh, yeah, you can see them scurrying, scuttling.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've written it kind of sideways, though, and this part has stalky eyes.
Yep, like that. Love it. Don't get too,
maudlin,
animated.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I'm a little unsure of the technology, so what we're saying, I think, is that when the customer turns the menu page, they'll hear that ditty.
If I could just...
these little batteries that are like inserted in the pages of the menu.
They used to be called watch batteries.
Right. And now they're called
clam batteries.
Okay.
Well, so if I could just maybe do this one little. The crab,
we have all day.
The crabs you got from us last night were freshly caught the week before. Not the week before. That would be wrong to say that. The day before. I meant to say the day before.
Well, you can use day, week. Just don't use month because you remember. Then they're all going to go
R's and that.
Right.
So you could have mussels, fra diablo, $14.95.
Okay, yeah, but we change these prices frequently. So
I am available. I'm available at least once a week for doing that.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's.
Now, what about for parties of 8 or more? Are you available to just stand by the table and sing them the menu?
That's cost prohibitive.
We have a sommelier that does that with an oboe in the wine list.
There's one of it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's one of me at a time. Let's say it that. Let's be honest and say that. Here's one about clams. We dug the clams up late last evening. We swear they've been on ice. You needn't bother with a hot sauce bottle, 'cause the clams taste nice at $9.95. Half dozen, something like that.
This is the A2 number 22 in F major. Or it was for a minute. Some people have done a lot of research and posited theories about whether he actually consciously moves from piece to piece, kind of in the middle, in a very conscious, intentional pastiche, or if he just forgets what he's doing. And it's really kind of 50-50 either side.
I liked the movement I felt in that dramatic piece. I liked the sense of
well, it had kind of a naivete that you only find in
a studiously assiduous naivete.
Yes, he's either immensely studied
or he's really drunk.
Yes.
It could be both. Some people are both.
But drunk in a very studied,
naive
yes,
way. Yes, it's a naturalistic approach, I think I would call it.
I like the notion of seasickness that was inherent in the piece.
That made me very nervous.
Well, for me, it really touched on a theme that's missing in so much current...
That visceral, queasy note.
Yes, that kind
That
of
note of slipping sideways when you should be traveling forward.
I feel that he really hit upon something which most artists would just discard as being completely.
I think there would be good reason for most artists to shy away from that
Yes.
sort of.
Walking as I was on the windy side of town, trying to keep my overcoat closed. The buttons had long blown off. I tried to sew a zipper on, but instead attached it to my thumb, which wasn't all that helpful. As I walked, head down, knees up, through the driving wind, and the wind that took public transportation. I wondered, what's life like on that other side of town, the side of town where the people don't have to wear hats to keep their hair in place, where frisbees hit where you aim them. On that side of town, there's less worry. People are carefree, they'll open their doors and leave them without fear of losing hinges or waking the cat. And as somebody's lunch flew back into my face, pulled French fries out of my front pocket and thought about the days when wind was just an alarmist fairy tale they would tell us to keep us shivering in our sleeping bags at night, which we'd never zip closed because it was always warm. In those days, we never used tents or bobby pins. Paper airplanes were not yet instruments of war. And the phrase, sailing through life, would not institute a bar fight on that side of town.
Egregious and inexcusable conduct.
I'm sorry.
Egregious and inexcusable conduct.
My client would like to plead.
I'm sorry.
Egregious and inexcusable conduct.
This evidence is not usable in court. I'm sure you'll agree.
It's
Guilty.
past the expiration date.
This evidence was found in the back of the dairy counter.
This is
sorry.
egregious and inexcusable conduct.
My client refuses to discuss the matter.
Your client cannot possibly
I'm sorry.
My client would like to offer this small
apologize
gift.
enough for helping to sell my car.
When I hid the ice cream in the glove box,
My client did not in any way hide the ice cream in the glove box.
I'm sorry.
My father said, offer the prosecutor a few small gifts.
That's a good idea.
My client would like to offer this almost new mink coat.
And an Eskimo sandwich.
He does not currently possess any Eskimo sandwiches, despite any claims he may make to the contrary.
I wouldn't mind having
I'm
a
sorry.
bit of rice vinegar.
It's in the glove box with the ice cream sandwiches.
My client, under no circumstances, hid any sort of food product in the glove compartment.
One may have spilled.
And although he professes his condolences,
I'm sorry.
he did nothing wrong in any way.
I'm sorry that the vinegar got on the ice cream and made Eskimo cheese.
My client would like to offer the prosecution
Interesting, Bob. The guitar he's playing tonight is made entirely from the decking of sunk Confederate submarines.
That one still has some scuff marks, it looks like, from the shoes they wore.
I noticed there's still some water sort of dripping out of the... when he holds it upright like that.
It's convenient that I'm really clever to use the hole in the side where they had the cannon to shoot out as the kind of pickup thing. You know, you put a reflective cord in. It's really...
This is the gavotte of his longer work.
It was often misannounced as the Garotte in G major.
We're very fortunate that he's let us observe his warming up, because most people he charges, for that.
He doesn't always levitate like this, so this is very interesting.
I've never seen him play with both feet like that. He had a problem with an ingrowing toenail last year. It doesn't seem to be bothering him today.
You got some interesting harmonics out of that. But, it's interesting also, a lot of classical players watch their left hand and others watch their right hand almost exclusively, but he almost without fail reads the paper while he's playing.
There I was in a gymnasium full of cheering students. Anxiously awaiting my arrival. I was overcome with emotion. I looked up into those bleachers and wondered why in the world they were called bleachers. And other such thoughts of that, like, where would they build a bigger gymnasium than this one when they needed to? Which was right about then. And then I realized they'd all quit cheering and looked at me with hopeful expressions, expecting me to say something. But then I realized I'd gotten them all out of class, so anything I said after that would just be superfluous and not nearly worth as much. So I reached down deep and came up with the pearls of wisdom, the gems of knowledge, and the fool's gold of hope that you usually hear that time of year, and dished them out like a blue plate special. They seem to appreciate it. But when you're that young, you really don't know the difference, do you? Not that you ever do. But that's just the way you're supposed to act when you get invited to one of those affairs. Never thought it'd be me. A lot of my friends had been invited, but I always like to kind of fly below the radar. They were kind enough to drive me back to the airport. It was a truck that'd been fixing in auto mechanic shop. Some creative minds that worked there. Wish the boys in the highway department were as industrious. There were some potholes in that road that were there when I went to school. The pilot circled back around the campus after we took off so I could have one last look. And I'll be danged if they hadn't put a message up on the roof of the school, wishing me well and bidding me adieu. I wondered if I would have done that when I was a student in a gymnasium full of my cheering compatriots. Then I realized if it had gotten me out of class, I would have done just about anything too. Look, this is authentic ersatz salmon. Take it or leave it.
It's, salmon with a C.
That is, you and your guests can't tell the difference.
Look at this.
Take it from
Feel
me.
That. Firm.
What sauce do you recommend? Do you recommend that this?
Yeah, it stews in its own sauce, really.
Right. You don't need anything that you couldn't find in your common household chemicals.
We don't recommend blackening it on account of flammability.
I just thought I should mention I did use this for an open house party.
That should be a problem.
I think it
people
was
can sign
this,
waivers at the door.
I think it was this salmon and not the Jello mold, but 3 of my neighbors did lose actual teeth.
You must have invited some atmospheric drones.
Yes, you must. Mm-hmm. Well, listen, if you need further help in planning your gastronomic fits, I think you've come to the right place. Salmon with a C is going over big time. It's going over big time.
You have no idea.
You can't fathom what we've done.
You can't plumb the depths.
Well, that's kind of why I'm here is my neighbors, especially Mildred from 3 houses down, she was asking, what did they do? Is this salmon with clam
salmon
sauce?
whiz.
Or is this clam with salmon sauce?
The canned aerosol salmon with a C is crab flavored. That was not our original intention, but it's turned out to be a big seller.
It's big, all right.
You don't know what we've gone through.
You can't imagine.
And you understand that we're here in America making this, but The reason why it's the C has a little sedia underneath it is to get the right sound. And it doesn't hurt to let people think it's an imported product.
Well, I just wanted... the last neighbor I sent down here, she never returned. I just wondered...
She's
was
on the road.
We had... she brought in what she said was a return. We fully and cheerfully refunded her money, and that's
According
the last
to
we
our
know
policies.
about it. As clearly stated on our labels.
That's right.
No questions asked, satisfaction.
No questions asked.
Right. It seems to me you're in
The
here
things
asking
we've done.
questions.
Well, I'm not really asking. I'm kind of just wondering.
A wondering's all right.
That's...
Whether-
First one's free.
Have you tasted fresh salmon with a C out of the can, tub, or aerosol spray?
I was wondering what percentage of this product is actual...
Oh, he's horning in for a percentage now.
is fish or seafood, actual seafood.
We all come from the sea originally, don't we?
Exactly. So I would say this. You've got 100% sea
Salmon
or
with a C.
sea-based products,
So this is all seafood, then.
including the
100%
can.
seafood.
And another thing, you can't duplicate our recipes at home. It's been tried.
Well, I
We've
just-
got ingredients that aren't even on the label.
If you look at the label, you'll see that there are active, inactive, and inert ingredients.
You know it.
And there's ingredients.
And surfactants.
The surfactants are there for your protection.
We have extensive experience in the retailing of seafoods. Trust us. Look at us. We've been around the seafood business and the business of seafood all of our lives, all of our parents' lives.
You see this tattoo?
And on top of that...
What's it say?
It's upside down. I don't want to impugn you.
It's
I mean,
spawning.
you both do look like very disreputable people. But
Listen, my friend, if I can call you my friend.
this is the only fish shop in town that operates out of the back of a van.
This is the only fish shop in town.
Is this all about the fact that you don't like the taste of salmon with
I
the sea?
think this is something
Because
else.
we have other products.
I
if
think
that's the
this is
case.
something else.
It's something deeper.
I think he's not happy with his own life. I think this is a self-esteem issue.
You think this is psychological with an S?
I think he's...
He doesn't know what we've done,
He has no idea.
where we've been.
He does. He can't imagine.
Sit tight. We're almost finished.
You have no idea.
I'm amazed to see that the influences of
Well, Zamfir is clearly a big influence.
this is the Quonset Hut Quartet, as I remember.
Yes, for a trio of Quonset huts and an oboe, I think it was scored for.
Amazing.
He is one of the few contemporary classical guitarists who make such extensive use of sponsors. The patches on the tuxedo I'm speaking of.
Right. The decals on his clothing are
Yes.
brightly colored. I think most people have a hard time reading all of them, but they sort of make a game of it. And
I've heard theories that if you read all the patches in a certain order, there's a really profound statement about life and hope. But none of the papers that posit this theory actually tell you what order that would be. So
of course,
it's kind of
that makes
academic
that makes
at this
sense.
point.
This show was improvised by Gary Bass, Matthew Cowley, and Dave Waterman, and edited by Sheila Cowley.
Well, Bob, it's time for us to begin the show.